So I'd like to thank you all very much for making the time to come along to this, the opening campaign of our election this year. So there are going to be a number of campaigns during the course of the year. And in this campaign, we're asking the question, what are you looking forward to? So we're asking the question, what might you have to look forward to from a continuing national-led government? What might you have to look forward to from a government that includes the Green Party? And what can you expect from this campaign? What are you looking forward to from the Wellington Central campaign this year? So I'll start with the national-led government question. What might we look forward to from that? You can look forward to the continuing erosion of our natural and renewable resources that our economy relies on. You can look forward to vast tracts of Southland and the Mackenzie Company being turned into open-cast pits to extract lignite, and that will get sold to China to be used in some of the dirtiest energy production methods in the world. And we will use the profits to bail out the companies that have failed in this country. You can look forward to continuing pollution of our rivers and our streams. My mother, who's here tonight, used to tell me stories about the family farm that she grew up in Apotiki in the Eastern Bay of Plenty, and swimming in the river that runs through it. So no more. You can look forward to a generation of New Zealanders who do not know that birthright. You can look forward to businesses that want to change and to invest in more sustainable practices, having to hold themselves back because they're competing against recalcitrants that have got a short-term view of the world and a lack of regulation that demands that they lift their game. Under a national-led government, you can look forward to a further erosion of our social fabric. You can look forward to a further concentration of wealth in the hands of those who already have the most. Middle-class real incomes slowly eroding, and those who are struggling the most falling further and further behind. As a result, you can look forward to higher healthcare costs and more overcrowding in our prisons. You can look forward to the further erosion of democratic and constitutional norms, such as the use of urgency to pass dodgy legislation, the suspension of democratic government in Canterbury, and the erosion of principles like innocent until proven guilty under the Skynet law. And you can look forward to further job insecurity as the government continues to cut away at the most efficient and effective public service in the world, and to introduce further labour market reforms that actually drive down our wages compared to Australia and the rest of the world. But these are the kinds of things you might expect from a national-led government. What is surprising, what you might normally be looking forward to, not normally be looking forward to, from the party of business, the party of capitalism, is economic mismanagement. But under a continuing national-led government, you can look forward to a cash deficit of $84 billion by 2014. They want to privatise strategic assets while spending billions bailing out badly run companies. When a business fails, that is bad news, especially for the employees of that business. But the economic rationalists tell us that that is part of the process of capitalism. It's called creative destruction. But the bailout capitalism is a toxic policy mixture which is not just economically damaging, but also highly distortive. Small businesses don't get bailed out. Only those that are too big to fail. If it's unacceptable for a business to fail, doesn't that make it a strategic asset? And shouldn't it therefore be a state-owned enterprise? But privatising profits and socialising losses is not capitalism. It's corporate socialism. And it seems like a strange day when a member of the Green Party is lecturing the National Party on the nature of capitalism. So you can look forward to national spending $10.7 billion on roads, which by their own calculations will have an economic return of just 40 cents for every dollar that we spend on them. And this at a time when they're cutting income support and early childhood education to help fund the rebuilding of Christchurch. And you can look forward to the economic shocks of volatile energy and food prices because their approach to infrastructure is built on increasing oil imports, and they refuse to acknowledge the simple mathematics of the increase in the world's population and the decrease in our arable land. So, lots to look forward to. What might you look forward to under a government that includes the Green Party? Under a government that includes the Greens, you can look forward to the restoration of our natural resources and the heritage that we rely on. You can look forward to a recognition that our tourism dollars rely on pristine natural settings, that our agricultural dollars rely on produce from a healthy, clean ecology, and that the quality of life that attracts so many highly educated, valuable professionals to live in this country relies on clean air, clean water, and verdant urban landscapes. You can look forward to market signals that internalise environmental damage, prices on carbon, water, and waste, so that prices reflect real-world costs. And you can look forward to a government that leaves the coal in the hole, not just because it would be an ecological disaster to dig it up and short-term economic thinking, but because there are some places that are simply too precious to mine. Under a government that includes the Greens, you can look forward to a recognition that we are all in this together, that we are interdependent, and that what affects you affects me also. You can look forward to some of Stephen Joyce's $10.7 billion road dollars going instead to invest in children, in education, and in training. Nations that invest in their children right from the start break the cycle of poverty, and they attract high-value industries chasing an educated workforce. You can look forward to every Kiwi having access to a good public education, affordable housing, decent wages and conditions, and social security for times like now, when things are really rough. And that means less crime, lower healthcare costs, and a more civil society. You can look forward to the restoration of democratic constitutional principles in government. You can expect to see more use of the parliamentary process, more respect for the parliamentary process, use of select committee hearings, the use of urgency for matters that are, in fact, urgent. You can see a restoration of the ability of local communities to make the decisions about the matters that affect them the most. But these kinds of things you might expect from a government that includes the Green Party. What you might not normally look forward to from the Greens, what you might find a little surprising, is smart economics. The world's population continues to grow, and so does its demand for our resources, food, energy, and other products and services. Our finite resources are at risk, and our renewable resources are being placed under intolerable strain. Under a government that includes the Greens, you can look forward to high-value jobs and clean tech industries that are shaping the next industrial revolution, such as advances in material sciences that allow us to decouple the impossibility of unlimited material growth from economic development. And you can look forward to an energy and transport infrastructure that both reduces our reliance on oil imports and reduces our carbon emissions. This will help reverse our balance of payments deficit and stabilise the economy. You can look forward to strategic assets like power generation remaining under democratic control, and the dividends from those assets paid for by the investments of generations of former New Zealanders continuing to benefit future generations of New Zealanders. These are pretty big calls. To do this is going to take all of us, and it's going to take everything we've got. So what can you look forward to from the Wellington Central campaign this year? So here's how things stand. Sue mentioned at the last election in 2008, we got about 7% of the party vote across the country. And in 2011, we want to finally break through the 10% barrier. At the 2008 election, 28% of Wellington Central voters gave the Greens one or both of their votes. That's almost 1 in every 3 people voting for us. However, when you break it down, there was actually quite a substantial wasted vote, because whilst 21% gave us the party vote and 15% gave us their electorate vote, only 6% gave us both of their votes. So for us to do our part in lifting the Greens' 2011 result past 10%, we either need to convince the people who, we need to convince the people who only gave us their electorate vote either to give us both of their votes or to switch and give us their party vote. That is going to require the largest, the most well-run, the most well-funded campaign that we've ever had. Now, Labour is in disarray, and that presents us with an opportunity. We are also in better shape than we've ever been before. Wellington Central has got over 300 members. We're the largest branch in the country by some margin in some places. So if anybody can do it, we can. So we're going to do the basics, and we're going to do them really well. In fact, we're going to do them better than we've ever done before. We're going to run a grassroots campaign. We want to knock on every door. We want to have a billboard in every street. We want to attend every weekend farmers market. We want to meet with every community organisation. And we want all of our members to work with all of the other members in your suburbs to make that happen. In a minute, Kent is going to give you the arm twist and tell you precisely how you can do that. I just want to say it's a tremendous privilege for me to represent the Greens in Wellington Central. Stepping into the shoes of Sue, who, like I said, has represented us for 20 years as a candidate and an MP and a Wellington City Councillor, is, shall I say, daunting, to say the least. I feel an enormous sense of responsibility just to keep our party vote up, let alone to increase it by half, which is what we're aiming to do. So I need your help. Under a continuing national-led government, you can look forward to the continuing erosion of our natural and renewable resources that our economy depends on, to the continuing erosion of our social fabric, and to further economic mismanagement. Under a government that includes the Greens, you can look forward to high-value jobs in clean tech industries, to energy and transport infrastructure that both reduces our reliance on oil imports and reduces our carbon emissions, and to strategic assets like power generation remaining in public hands. And from this campaign, you can look forward to a grassroots effort, the like of which the Greens have never seen before. You can look forward to a candidate who is completely committed to living up to the responsibility that you've bestowed. And you can look forward to winning the vote in Wellington Central in 2011. So let's give this everything we've got.